"You're pathetic," my sister Olivia hissed, her voice dripping with venom. Her hands clamped down firmly on my shoulders, pinning me at the top of the hospital stairwell. The cold, sterile air of the hospital seemed to amplify her words, making them echo in my ears. "Mom and Dad will never believe you anyway. My name is Emma Sullivan." At 24 years old, I found myself staring into the piercing, contemptuous eyes of my 28-year-old sister, Olivia. That familiar look of disdain was one I'd seen countless times growing up, but today it carried an edge of something darker. We were supposed to be visiting our grandmother, who was recovering from surgery, a routine family visit to show support. But Olivia had other plans. She'd cornered me in this isolated stairwell, far from the watchful eyes of nurses, doctors, or anyone who might intervene. Or so she thought. "Move, Olivia," I said, my voice steady but firm, trying to sidestep her. "Grandma's waiting for us." She laughed, that chilling, hollow sound I'd grown up dreading. "Always the perfect granddaughter, aren't you, Emma? Always making everyone else look bad with your daily visits, your thoughtful little care packages, your endless devotion." Her words were sharp, each one cutting deeper than the last. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my composure. "This isn't about you, Olivia. It's about Grandma. She needs us right now." "Everything is about you, Emma," she snapped, her voice rising with a bitterness that seemed to consume her. "It always has been. Poor little Emma, so smart, so caring, so perfect." Her grip on my shoulders tightened, her nails digging into my skin. "I'm sick of it. Sick of you." I saw the push coming, that fleeting moment where her eyes flickered with intent. But I was powerless to stop it. Her hands shoved hard against my shoulders, and suddenly, the world spun out of control. The stairs rushed up to meet me, each step a brutal collision with my body. My arms flailed, grasping at nothing as I tumbled downward. Pain exploded with every impact, my ribs, my back, my wrist, all screaming in agony as I crashed onto the landing below. When I finally stopped, the world was a haze of pain and disorientation. Every breath felt like a knife twisting in my chest. Through blurred vision, I saw Olivia rushing down the stairs, her face a mask of false panic. But she wasn't coming to help me. Instead, she pulled out her phone, her fingers trembling as she dialed. "Mom, Dad, come quick," she cried, her voice perfectly rehearsed. Emma fell down the stairs. I tried to catch her, but I couldn't reach her in time. I tried to speak, to shout the truth that she had pushed me, but the pain in my ribs made every word an excruciating effort. All I could manage was a weak gasp. Within minutes, the stairwell door burst open, and my parents rushed in, their faces a mix of shock and concern. "Oh my God, Emma," my mother cried out, but her first instinct wasn't to check on me. Instead, she ran to Olivia, wrapping her in a tight embrace. "You poor thing. You must have been so scared, watching your sister fall like that." My father knelt beside me, his expression stern, almost accusing. "Emma, what were you thinking? Running in a stairwell at your age? You could have been more careful." I managed to choke out the words through the pain. "I didn't." Olivia pushed me. "Don't you dare." Olivia cut in, her voice sharp and her eyes brimming with perfectly calculated tears. "I tried to save you, Emma. How can you lie about something like this?" My mother's face hardened, her arms still around Olivia. "Emma, you must stop this. Your sister is traumatized enough without you making up stories to hurt her." Before I could respond, the stairwell door swung open again. A tall woman in scrubs strode in, her presence commanding the chaotic scene. Her name tag read Nurse Martinez. "What happened here?" she demanded, her eyes scanning the room before settling on me. She knelt beside me, her hands gentle but efficient as she checked my injuries. Before anyone could answer, a younger nurse rushed in, her face pale and serious. "Nurse Martinez, you need to see this," she said, holding up a tablet with a grave expression. "Not now," my mother interrupted, her voice sharp with authority. "Our daughter had an accident. She was running and fell down the stairs. Her sister tried to catch her." Nurse Martinez's eyes narrowed slightly, a flicker of skepticism crossing her face. She glanced at the tablet the younger nurse held, then looked from Olivia to me. Something in her expression shifted, a quiet understanding, perhaps. "Mrs. Sullivan, Mr. Sullivan," she said firmly, "I need you to step back. We have to examine your daughter immediately." Her tone left no room for argument. As the medical team surrounded me, I heard Nurse Martinez speaking quietly into her phone. "Security, I need the footage from Stairwell B for the last 10 minutes. Yes, send it directly to Dr. Kane and contact hospital administration." Olivia's face went pale, her confident facade faltering for the first time. "What footage?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. That's when we all noticed it. A small security camera tucked in the corner of the stairwell, its red light blinking steadily. It had captured everything. Every word, every movement, every moment of betrayal. "Standard hospital security," Nurse Martinez said calmly, though her eyes were sharp and unyielding. "Every stairwell is monitored for patient safety, of course." "This is a family matter," my father began, his voice rising in defense, but Nurse Martinez cut him off with a steely gaze. "Sir," she said, her tone unwavering, "what I just witnessed on that security feed isn't a family matter. It's assault." Olivia's tears dried instantly, replaced by a flash of defiance. "You can't prove anything." "Camera footage doesn't lie," Nurse Martinez replied coolly. "Unlike some people." As the medical team loaded me onto a stretcher, I saw the cracks forming in Olivia's carefully crafted persona. My parents stood frozen, their world of denial and carefully maintained appearances beginning to crumble around them. Nurse Martinez leaned down close to me as they wheeled me out of the stairwell. "You're safe now," she whispered, her voice soft but resolute. "We won't let them sweep this under the rug." For the first time in years, I felt a glimmer of hope. Someone might finally see the truth behind my family's perfect image. The emergency room was a whirlwind of activity, beeping machines, hurried footsteps, and the sharp scent of antiseptic. X-rays revealed the extent of my injuries: 2 broken ribs, a sprained wrist, and multiple contusions that left my body aching with every movement. As the doctors worked, I could hear my parents' voices rising in the hallway, their desperation palpable. "This is ridiculous," my father's voice boomed. "We're not allowing our daughter to be interrogated like some criminal." "Your daughter pushed her sister down a flight of stairs," Nurse Martinez replied, her voice calm but unyielding. "The police have already been called." "It was an accident," my mother insisted, her tone frantic. "Family matters should be handled within the family." Through the thin curtain, I saw Nurse Martinez step closer to them, her posture unwavering. "Mrs. Sullivan," she said, her voice low but firm, "in the past hour, we've reviewed security footage from previous visits. This isn't the first incident we've captured in our stairwells." The silence that followed was deafening. My heart stopped. They had found the other videos, incidents from months ago that I'd tried to forget. 3 months prior, Olivia had accidentally knocked me into a wall outside Grandma's hospital room. 2 months before that, she'd tripped me near the water fountain. Small moments of cruelty, always with witnesses nearby, always dismissed by my parents as my clumsiness, followed by Olivia's theatrical distress. Dr. Kane, the attending physician, pulled the curtain closed, blocking my view of the hallway drama. "Emma," she said gently, her voice warm but professional, "we need to talk about your previous hospital visits." I stared at my hands, avoiding her eyes. "I'm clumsy," I muttered, the excuse I'd been trained to repeat. Her voice was firm but kind. "Emma, we have 6 documented accidents in the past year alone, all with your sister present, all dismissed as your fault." Tears rolled down my cheeks unbidden. "You don't understand. My parents, they'll never believe me." "Your parents aren't in charge anymore," Dr. Kane interrupted, her tone resolute. "You're an adult, Emma, and we're mandated reporters. This stops today." Detective Morris arrived soon after, a kind-faced woman with steady eyes and a notebook in hand. As she sat beside my hospital bed, pieces of my family's carefully constructed facade began to unravel. "Has your sister always been violent toward you?" she asked, her voice gentle but probing. I hesitated, the weight of years of silence pressing down on me. It escalated after Grandma changed her will last year, I admitted. She decided to leave her house to me instead of Olivia. I work from home, so I could take care of her there. It made sense, but Olivia, she didn't take it well. I laughed bitterly, the sound hollow in the sterile room. That's an understatement. Detective Morris's pen paused. Your grandmother's house, what's it worth? About $1.2 million, I replied. It's in the historic district, a beautiful Victorian property. Her eyebrows rose slightly. That's quite a motive. Just then, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. It was a video file, followed by a message. Thought you might need this. Jake, hospital security. I opened the video, my hands trembling. It showed Olivia in the stairwell an hour before she pushed me, pacing and talking on her phone. Her voice was clear, chilling. I don't care what it takes. Once Grandma's gone, that house is mine. Emma won't be a problem much longer. One more accident should convince her to give up her claim. Detective Morris watched the video, her expression hardening. This changes things, she said. We're not just looking at assault now. This was premeditated. A commotion outside the room drew our attention. Grandma, still in her hospital gown, had somehow made her way down from her room, leaning on Dr. Kane for support. Her voice carried that familiar authority that even my parents couldn't challenge. I want to see my granddaughter, she demanded. She took one look at me lying in the hospital bed, bruised and broken, and turned to my parents, her eyes blazing. How long have you been covering for Olivia? Mother, my mom started, her voice pleading, but Grandma cut her off with a sharp gesture. I've watched you dismiss Emma's injuries for years, Grandma said, her voice trembling with anger and sorrow. I said nothing, hoping you'd finally see the truth. But this, she gestured at the security footage playing on Detective Morris's tablet. This ends now. Olivia stepped forward, her face a mask of innocence. Grandma, you don't understand. I understand perfectly, Grandma snapped, her voice like steel. I understand that money and jealousy matter more to you than family. I understand that your parents have enabled your behavior until it escalated to attempted murder. Murder? My father sputtered, his face red with disbelief. That's absurd. Detective Morris cleared her throat. Actually, sir, given the premeditation evidence and the height of that stairwell, attempted murder charges aren't off the table. Olivia's perfect mask finally shattered. Her face contorted with rage as she pointed at me. This is all your fault, Emma. You've ruined everything. 2 police officers appeared in the doorway, handcuffs ready. As they led Olivia away, I saw something new in her eyes, fear. The same fear I'd lived with for years, now reflected back at her. Grandma sat beside my bed, taking my hand in hers. I'm so sorry, Emma, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. I should have done something sooner. I squeezed her hand, tears welling in my eyes. We both know this isn't over, I said quietly. As they wheeled me up for more tests, I caught one last glimpse of my parents huddled together in the hallway, their world of denial finally crumbling. The security camera had caught more than just a push down the stairs. It had exposed years of family secrets, lies, and betrayal. There was no going back. 6 months later, I stood in front of Grandma's house, my house now, watching the morning sun illuminate its intricate Victorian details. The bruises had healed, but the changes in my life were permanent and mostly for the better. Olivia had taken a plea deal, 2 years in prison with mandatory counseling. My parents, faced with overwhelming evidence of their enabling behavior, were ordered to attend family therapy. They hadn't spoken to me since the hospital, except through their lawyer, but I was learning to be okay with that. Tea's ready. Grandma called from the wraparound porch. She'd moved in with me during my recovery and decided to stay. Her surgery had been successful, and together, we'd transformed the house into a true home, a sanctuary of warmth and safety. A familiar car pulled into the driveway, and Nurse Martinez, Sarah, stepped out, carrying her usual weekend breakfast contribution, fresh scones from the bakery near the hospital. How's my favorite former patient? She called out, climbing the steps with a warm smile. After the incident, Sarah had become more than just the nurse who saved me. She was now a close friend, part of the new family I was building around myself. Better every day, I replied, helping her with the bakery box. Therapy's really helping. We settled into our usual Sunday routine: tea, scones, and conversation on the porch. It had become a healing ritual, a way to reclaim peace after years of chaos. Sarah glanced at me, her expression careful. Have you heard from them? She asked, knowing the weight of the question. I nodded. Mom sent an email yesterday. They wanted me to talk. Grandma's teacup clanked sharply against its saucer. And what did you say? I agreed, but on my terms, I said. At Dr. Thompson's office, with her present. Dr. Thompson, my therapist, had helped me understand that healing didn't mean forgetting. It meant setting boundaries and making choices that protected my well-being. Olivia's been writing, too, I added quietly. From prison. I haven't opened the letters yet. Sarah reached over and squeezed my hand. You don't have to. Not until you're ready. The stack of unopened letters sat in my desk drawer, each one a reminder of how far I'd come and how far I still had to go. The following week, I walked into Dr. Thompson's office, feeling stronger than I had in years. My parents sat stiffly on the couch, looking smaller, less intimidating than I remembered. Emma, my mom started, her voice cracking. We've been doing a lot of work in therapy, understanding our part in what happened. My father couldn't meet my eyes. We failed you, he admitted, his voice heavy with shame. We chose to believe what was convenient rather than what was true. Yes, I said simply, my voice steady. You did. We want to make things right, my mom continued, her eyes pleading. We want to be part of your life again. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of years of pain and silence. That's possible, I said, but it has to be different. I'm not that scared girl anymore, hoping you'll finally see the truth. I have boundaries now and expectations. I won't pretend the past didn't happen. I won't smile and play happy family at holidays while ignoring years of trauma. If you want to be in my life, you need to acknowledge what happened and work to change, really change. Dr. Thompson nodded encouragingly as I spoke, and for the first time, I felt truly in control of my story. And Olivia, my father asked hesitantly. When she gets out? That's not my problem, I said firmly. My safety and well-being come first now. If she does the work, gets help, and shows real change, maybe someday we can talk. But I'm not making any promises. That evening, I returned to the house and finally opened one of Olivia's letters. Her words were different from what I'd expected, less manipulation, more raw honesty. I never saw myself as the villain, she wrote. I was so consumed by jealousy and entitlement that I convinced myself you deserved it. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not even asking for a relationship. I just want you to know that I understand now what I did, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to be better. I set the letter down, my emotions a tangled mix of anger, sadness, and cautious hope. Prison therapy seemed to be having an effect, but I wasn't ready to respond, not yet. Healing was a journey, and I was taking it one step at a time. Standing on the porch where this new chapter of my life had begun, I watched the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange, pink, and hope. Sarah's words from the hospital echoed in my mind, "You're safe now." She had been right. The security camera hadn't just captured evidence of abuse, it had captured the moment I finally broke free from fear, free from denial, free from the toxic family dynamics that had controlled my life for so long. Grandma joined me on the porch, 2 cups of tea in hand. Proud of you, kiddo, she said, her voice warm with love. I smiled, taking the offered cup. You know what? I'm proud of me too. The house stood strong behind us, no longer a source of conflict, but a symbol of survival and new beginnings. The security camera had caught everything, but what it really captured was the start of my liberation. Sometimes, the best family isn't the one you're born into. It's the one you choose to build from the ashes of what broke you. That's the thing about falling down the stairs. Once you hit bottom, the only way left is up. Please feel free to comment below if you liked this. Remember to like and subscribers for more.